Alrighty, guys, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect now. It's going to be for northern Iosco County, as well as extreme southern. This is going to be for Alcona County. It's going to be right on the border of Alcona, as well as Iosco counties in northeastern lower Michigan. It's the only severe storm in the state right now. Zooming out, this is where you're at in Michigan. Just north, really, of the thumb here, up there in the we're gonna call it the index finger of the state here. So this is going to be a severe warning here. It's going to be for 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as 1-inch hail. So your typical severe hazard, should I say? It's going to be crossing the Iosco County line toward Wilbur and Sable for right now. Alvin, Sidtown, and that's about all I'm seeing as far as townships go. It's a pretty rural area up here. It's a forest, actually. So not too many population centers up there, which is really good news. But still, severe warning here in effect now. This is going to roll until looks like it's going to be 2:45 Eastern time. So about 35 minutes. It'll expire. So we'll be here tracking it as long as it looks threatening on radar here. Looking at a few things, your velocity product here. There is some heightened velocity there, perhaps a downburst going on right there in the county line of Alcona and Iosco, just south and east of Glenny, as well as south of Mikado. So again, it's going to be till 2:45. It's going to be moving east-southeast at roughly 20 miles per hour. Looks good size hail core on that as well. The hail core, hail tracker, should I say, is showing up on this storm quite well there. Again, right there in the county line. Will Sable be hit? It is in the path of this storm, so yes, eventually, but it's very slow moving, so I wouldn't expect it for another about half hour or so. It also is kind of meandering north, south, east, west, so it's just kind of sitting up there. But yeah, definitely pay attention if you're over by Sable. If it's Sable, I do apologize. I'm gonna pop out my editor here, working solo, so give me a second to get everything set up here. Everything wants to roll slow today, apparently. All right, because I can't edit that for some reason, so we'll come back and do that later. But the bulk of this is going to be almost stationary over the Iosco County line as well as Alcona County. Go ahead and pop this out here. There we go. Now I can edit. Perfect. Rock and roll. Perfect. All right, cool. Again, this is the only severe storm in the state right now. They're not really expecting too many strong or severe storms today. This is a pretty, I guess you can call it a freak incident, although it's not really a freak incident. It's isolated. We're not expecting too many instances like this today. So if you're watching across the state, relax. You'll be okay. All right. So your direction on the storm is east-southeast at right around 20 miles an hour, although it does appear to be slowing down, almost stationary now over the county line. Zooming out, a few other pop-ups around the area, and some near West Branch here. There's basically might be a boundary or some type of a surface trough here from roughly Big Rapids up to the Harrisville area. So again, nothing majorly severe is expected today. This storm has been hanging on for quite some time here with good sized hail core on it. Not surprised they warned it. We posted on the page about 15 minutes ago about this particular storm producing nickel-sized hail and 50-mile-per-hour winds, and 10 minutes later they go ahead and warn it. So not a surprise. But again, this is Not expected to be a statewide event today, just one or two storms, perhaps strong or severe like this one. So shouldn't be too big of a deal. Is that a hook echo on the southwest side? No, it's just two storms about to merge together. So no, not this time. Good side, good velocity showing up here. This is roughly about 4,500 feet off the ground. So these are winds that we're seeing 4,000 plus feet in the atmosphere. So we could definitely be seeing some stronger wind gusts mixing down to the surface here. Although we are in a forested area up here, so the population centers are uh, not very. We're going to call them pretty sporadic. So we're not seeing anything on the power outage maps. We're not seeing any damage reports coming in. There's just a very few people who live up in this area. So we'll see if we get any reports or any confirmations of the storm actually being severe. Right now, we don't have that, but again, this via radar definitely does appear to warrant concern. Again, townships in the path would be Wilbur, Sable, uh, Alvin up there, Sid Towns over here. I don't know how you pronounce this. I'm just going to call it Footsite Village. Could be Foodie. I don't know. Let's call it Footsite Village. Right by the Foot Dam Pond. So this is going to be the consumer's energy area that I'm looking at. That's what it says it covers. So that'll be those responsible will be consumer's energy. Hail core looks like it is weakening out here as well. It's good news. So we'll see if that continues or if it's going to pick back up in intensity. Now, if we go back, 20 or so frames and just kind of loop it for you guys, new scan coming in there. Take a peek at that here in a second. But this storm's been hanging out for quite some time. Uh, it looked pretty menacing back when it first popped up, right about there. Had a pretty good hail core on it. But as that continued to drift south and east, it looks like it is on the weakening trend, at least for right now. But it's been sporadic in nature in terms of its track. It started northeast and that kind of shifted east. Now it kind of goes southeast. So very little flow out there to get these storms actually moving. And again, just tuning in here. This shouldn't be a big day severe wise. We're really expecting it at all, not really. So this should just be like a one and done type of deal. Um, as the storm appears to be at its strongest, so hence the warning. It's a pretty good core, so definitely some concern if it decides to collapse on itself. We could definitely see a downburst or are seeing downbursts here. So that's the main concern. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, as well as large hail. But the large hail concern definitely is on the downtrend here with the latest couple of scans showing some weakening. So hail should be a little bit less of a concern, at least for right now. So that's good news. But still, with that storm, if it is collapsing on itself, that it would be a more so downburst risk, which would be damaging winds. We have a lot of discussions on our page about the upcoming weekend severe weather. We're not going to talk about it here. We have videos out, we have multiple posts out, and we'll have probably a briefing tonight to discuss that a little bit further on. So we're not going to focus on that right now, though. Yeah, dropped it. All right. Again, severe warning here for Iasco. It's going to be mainly for Iasco, but it's going to be on the county line, really, of Alcona and Iasco. So it's moving more so primarily into Iasco. Let's go ahead and roll this back here, animate this for you guys. There we go. Let's go ahead and put back on our 7 frame so it's the latest scans here coming in. So that yellow polygon there is going to be your severe warning. It includes the areas slash townships of Wilbur, Sidtown, Footsite Village. Lincoln Junction is close, but it does show Lincoln Junction out of that. Alvin, as well as Wallace Bryant, although you guys are on the back side of that. Could get some gusty winds there. The bulk of this is going to be right on the county line of Iasco, and Alcona. Looking at the intensity of this, looking at the two panel look here we usually run. The right side of your screen is your wind velocity. Reds are going away from the radar, greens are going towards. We do see a little bit of a pocket there, perhaps some gustier winds. Does not look severe, but of course we are 4,000 or 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere here. So what's happening below that mark is kind of hard to depict on radar. So do keep that in mind as well. It's almost stationary now. So we'll see if it just continues to collapse on itself. That'd be the best, I think, best case scenario because population center up here is quite low. It's over the forest right now. If it can just sit over the forest and just completely die out, that'd be great, honestly. Less people affected and stuff like that. So that would be optimal. Got to replace the batteries in that thing. It's already dead. Looks like they're going to trim this back here. They're continuing it for both wind and hail. Alcona County is canceled, but Iasco is continued. In fact, there it just went on my screen over here. They did trim that back only now for Iasco County. That's going to be in effect for, it says 24 more minutes. And again, if you're just tuning in here, this should be the only really severe storm in the state. We're not expecting too much today. Just some general thunderstorms are possible across much of the state. Severe weather was never an expectation, but as always in summertime, we get these surprise pop-ups that are stronger than expected. So this is not uncommon at all. I'm going to pop out the real-time data here and perhaps get an idea of what's going on. A lot of instability, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and pop out the regional look. There we go. Very little wind shear at all. No spin whatsoever. Just looks like a lot of instability out there. As Joel calls them, instability storms. It looks to be the case today. We're not seeing anything that would support severe weather in general, but downbursts definitely there. As we're seeing that right here. Lapse rates are good, which is your change in temperature with height, so that could support some hail risk. In fact, we do have some steep lapse rates there in the lowest level, so that could be supporting a little bit of hail risk, but overall, not too concerning here. This storm is actually weakening quite a lot. Looking at the intensity updraft of this, let's go ahead and take a peek here. So it's roughly about 35,000 feet here. Still got roughly a 30,000 foot core here, but it is coming down. I'll say that it is weakening there, but still about 30 to 35,000 foot echo tops, which is your cloud heights. So it's up there pretty high up, but it is coming down, which is indicative of weakening, but also that downburst potential. Yes, the Midland Weather Radio does take batteries as well as a plug-in. You can do both or choose one. It is your choice. What's up, Alan? A little bit more of a pop-up popping up there by Wilbur. Again, zooming out here, looking across the state, there's a little bit like a line here trying to form. So let's see, like a boundary or something going on there. So not expecting severe weather today, but said it before, say it again. Pop-up storms can become severe in the summertime. It's not uncommon. It's just driven by instability, fuel, so to speak. So outside of that, there's really nothing there today supporting severe. And the storm, past couple of scans, is definitely weakening there. So, but the western storm is strengthening as well. So let's keep an eye on that one. Echo tops are still coming down here. Looks like the highest cloud top I'm getting is still 32,000. And that's as of what scan is that? 1 minute ago. Yes, Midland Weather Radios do have crank versions as well. It's not you got to buy a separate crank version. You can't add it on to the weather radio, but they do sell separate cranks. Yes, it's always good to have fresh batteries on hand. The typical rule of thumb for weather radios is replace them with your smoke detectors, which is every season or every other season. Daylight savings time, people do that as well, but you should be replacing your batteries at least twice a year, if not more. Um, That's also why it's good to have a battery backup to plug into your wall as well, just in case your batteries are dead. So you have that wall plugged in either way. So it's always good to have that um, dual option there. I see a question here for Oscoda County. They are not on the path of this. You are behind the storm, but pop-ups are possible today. Overall, severe threat is very low today. We're not expecting anything really. So this was definitely a surprise storm for us, but you said it before, say it again. Surprise storms in summertime, surprise severe storms in summertime are not uncommon. So definitely be alert today. Although Oscoda County, you're clear for now. So Debbie, looks like the storm is starting to move more easterly now toward Sable. So it's going to probably brush Wilbur up toward Sable. Take a peek at our hail tracker velocity here again. So man, your hail core is almost gone at this point. We want to look for those brighter colors, reds, purples, whites, and we're just not seeing that. We did see it right about there. We're seeing it, and it's just collapsing on itself. So the storm, I have to guess at this point, the storm is probably at its gustiest. So probably a lot of wind with this right now. Look at velocity, pop that on. Yeah, even the velocity's on its way out too. So it did look pretty, I guess you can say mean for a few minutes or a few scans, and now it's just kind of on its way out. Still a pocket of heavier winds there, still on the county line, east of Bryant, near Kurtz, Alvin areas. But overall, this storm is dying. Let's take a peek at our echo tops here. Yeah, echo tops are down to right around 29,000 now, so they're collapsing on themselves. So this shouldn't be severe too much longer, but still, with the collapsing of storms, we can get gusty winds here. So definitely, severe winds are possible with this. Again, this warning goes until 2:45, so about 17 more minutes. We'll see if they cancel early or if they'll continue it. As soon as it does get canceled, hop off here. We're not expecting anything else to go severe today. If it does, it'll be random. It's not going to be a widespread event today at all. So we cover every severe in the state, so that's why we're on here doing this. We have cloud tops. We do have echo tops on here. Cool. So here's your echo tops. your cloud heights there. We can see those brighter yellows right in the center there. That's your higher cloud top. That's going to be roughly about 36,000 feet. And as it continues, you'll see that it goes away and it's down to right around 30,000 at this point. So about 30, 34 at the peak there. If we were to back this up, we were getting close to probably, close to 36. So it's coming down. In fact, there we go. The warning was just canceled. That's kind of what I thought they were going to do there. So there you go. No longer under a warning, which is good news. So again, gusty winds definitely still possible. Small hail as well. I would not expect this to be severe again, although it's moving pretty slow here. So again, some indication of weakening definitely going on. But with these showers and storms today, and this goes for pretty much every summertime shower and thunderstorm threat, sometimes these little pop up cells can grow into severe storms, mainly producing damaging winds via downburst, sometimes hail as well. So don't be shocked on these summer type days where you have one or two severe warnings in the state. It's not uncommon. All right. As for the rest of the day today, expect some pop ups around the state. And again, severe weather is not expectation, but don't be shocked to see us back on here again today at some point. All right. I'm going to pop out of here. You guys enjoy your day. And if you're wondering about again, we'll have a briefing likely tonight. We also have a YouTube video out this morning. We have multiple posts on our page talking about these risks. I'll give you guys a general sense of things. There's a risk from Saturday, especially Saturday night, all the way through Tuesday or Wednesday. Each day there's very little confidence because it's really fluid and changing. So the best I can tell you guys is just pay attention not only to us but to SPC, your local meteorologist, whoever you guys trust for weather sources, information, stuff like that. Stay tuned in because there's going to be a lot of changes going on here. The overall consensus, though, multiple rounds of severe are possible this weekend. Damaging winds should be the main concern with bow echoes, like squall line type of systems, likely at some point throughout the period. All right. We'll have more information on this later tonight, likely on a briefing. If you haven't seen our YouTube video this morning already, it is uploaded already. Go to our channel, hit videos. It should be the first one that pops up there. Otherwise, stay tuned to our page. We'll have you guys covered. So with that being said, I'll be out of here. You guys enjoy your afternoon. We'll see you guys likely tonight.